Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 45th edition of the Hometown Musician Spotlight. And whoa, Nelly, we got a good one today. I can't believe it. I am here with John McFarland and Marty Mardirosian of M&R Rush, Chicago royalty when it comes to rock and roll. Guys, man, so happy to see you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Thanks.
We're coming to you from the Austin Community Tavern in Stager, where on May 3rd, the guys, the band, have a book signing party. I'm gonna turn it over to guys before we get into their musical genealogy. Tell us what's going on May 3rd right here.
It's all yours, brother.
Oh, thanks. So now you're testing my memory, right?
We got a book signing.
Well, a couple things. We have a book signing on May 3rd at Great Austin Community Tavern. Our good friend Phil Panazzo is hosting it. And the idea is for us to say thank you to all our friends that bought this book. And we're going to have music there. We will not be playing, but we have some of our friends. We have our original lead singer from M&R Rush back in 8th grade or so.
Wow.
He's going to be playing along with his friend, and also we have an old buddy, Kevin Friend, that's going to be playing with us for us. But it's going to be a program. You get there at 2:00, come in, have a cocktail or whatever, or eat, right? And then we'll do some. Hopefully, some people would want us to sign their book, or buy a book and then sign a book. And then we'll have some music, and then we're going to actually have a formal program. From about 3:00 to 4, we have Tom Lounges, who's a good friend. We'll be emceeing, and we'll be having questions and answers, talking about a lot of stuff that's not in the book. We will have raffles. We're going to have M&R Rush trivia to win prizes.
Some surprise guests.
Surprise guests. And it's just going to be fun. And then after we're done with that, Kevin Friend's going to play for a little bit. And just we're going to go around and say thanks. Appreciate it. And what's also cool, it's tied into a fundraiser for breast cancer. So every book sold previously before that we're donating to breast cancer. And any book that's sold that day, we're donating proceeds of it.
Very important to our age group now, too.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes. Right. And so, John, I don't know if you have anything else to add to that. Did I do a good job on that?
You did a great job. Good job, Marty.
Well, if people are not aware, 1971 is, about the time. So over 50 years you've been rocking. If I counted right, I'm not sure. 22 albums? Am I close?
Well, there's singles and
between the singles and albums,
beautiful
EPs.
Pieces of work. But,
well, thank you.
Thank you.
It all got started on the baseball field. You and Roger form a friendship in Little League, and next thing you know, with the help of your father, guiding you guys along, before you do 7th, 8th grade, you guys are starting to get something together, aren't you?
You read the book.
Yeah, he looks like he did.
Thanks for doing your homework, man.
Chicago, it's my duty.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
But so that initial thing started to grow and eventually to 6 members.
Yes.
And when I see the ticket from Elizabeth Seton High School when you're opening for Styx, in 1973, $2.79 for a ticket, $3 at the door. Those were some great times in Chicago. I mean, I was born in 1962, so that was just a fantastic time to be living in Chicago, especially the South Side. What are your memories of that?
And the awesome thing is that you bring up shows with Styx. I mean, they were still trying to figure it out. They were playing. We first started doing shows with them. They were probably playing 80% cover songs.
Yeah,
they do the Who. Ted Nugent. And then they'd slowly throw in some of their originals, and then we actually saw the progression of them switch from covers to be 100% original. And unfortunately, they were, weren't getting a whole lot of airplay then. And as I mean, when a band switches from covers to all originals, you gotta, it's challenging to say the least. But we were fortunate enough to be able to be their opening act for what, a year and a half, maybe
Yep.
maybe 2 years. We weren't their only opening act,
Yeah,
but we
yeah.
did a lot of shows with
Yeah.
them, and we learned a lot from sitting
Yeah.
on the side of the stage and watching them. And we became friends with some of the guys, and yeah, and to this day, it was a big, huge learning experience for
Yeah.
us.
There was one part of the book where it said one of the maybe it's one of the Pinozzo brothers gave you the old thumbs up from the side of the stage. Maybe that was early on, but those early thumbs up probably from people like that probably helped. Who were some of the maybe other people when you were in those teen years, late teen 20 years maybe that gave you a break at a club or any certain clubs come to mind from when these guys were playing back in the day?
Well, yeah, and in fact, that's why we love Phil's place here.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds us of one of the first clubs that we used to play on the south
Mhm.
side, called Luigi's,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a pizza joint that he converted into a rock club.
Mm-hmm.
And we were one of the first acts to play there. It was intimate. It wasn't too big, but was big enough to handle the sound, okay, without making your ears bleed too much.
Yeah.
And that's what, here we are now. I mean, long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
We, when Phil invited us to come here and we've seen it for the first time, it reminds us of good old Luigi's. Intimate.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But big enough to be like a rock show. Okay. And then, of course, Phil takes care of the bands like everybody that you've probably interviewed locally. He's, the band is treated like royalty.
Yes, for sure.
And then the bands appreciate it. Everybody appreciates it. So that's one of the biggest memories of Luigi's to Phil's.
Yeah.
Right?
In one point in the book, I think it was Jeff that made the comment about nobody really auditioned for the band. We all just kind of locked in together. How special is it to maybe not have to have a lot of discussion amongst bandmates? Because I don't know what that's like. Hey, do we keep them? How do you do? And just seem, how does that feel when everything just locks into place? I think was the word he used.
Yeah. I do remember one time though there was an audition, so to speak. No, so. All right. In the book, it tells the story how I joined M&R Rush the first time in 1971. And due to some other personnel changes, I decided to take a leave and work on my chops a little bit. But I literally, I quit, And
yeah, he quit.
I quit.
Who does he think he is? He quit.
I come in and I tell these guys, no, I'm done. And they weren't real happy with me.
Yeah.
So then, I don't know, a year and a half went by, and one of the guitar players that they had gotten, he left the band. So I told Roger, who I went to high school with, I said, hey, tell Marty that, I'm ready now. I've been practicing my chops. I'm ready to be the lead player. And Roger comes back the next day. He said, yeah, Marty said you can audition again.
Well, that's my ego, though. He quit.
And then,
no one quit.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you what I told Roger to tell Marty. Yeah. You'd have to edit that off of the.
Yeah. You know what? I do want to. We're going to go back a little bit in time because I don't want to be remiss. I like to usually ask everybody, and I know you guys are probably born in Roseland, but where were you born? Were you born in Roseland?
Yes.
Okay.
I myself personally, and
a little bit north of Chicago. What was it? Like 95th and Stony Island.
Okay. Yeah. Either Jackson Park Hospital or South Chicago Hospital, because 95th and Stony's kind of probably equidistant between both.
Yeah.
Of those.
I think it was South Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I was born. South Chicago Hospital.
Yeah. There you go.
It was called Trinity, I think.
Yeah.
But in Roseland was just a tremendous melting pot back then, right? I mean, of every ethnicity, and so I mean, every street corner probably had. So what was the fandom like? The from what I read, there's a lot of kids, eventually watching you. But how much did the neighborhood mean to the band? Did it drive you at all?
Everything.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, it was like you said. It was back when the steel mills were really happening, and anybody that this being in the region, a lot of your viewers and things. So don't I'm not a historian, but I'll
Yes.
just give you my spin
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah.
So steel mills are there. People are coming from all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
okay, to work at the steel mills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Rosen was a big area where a lot
Mm-hmm.
of people migrated to.
Mm-hmm.
Had a lot of homes, but also a lot of four flats
Mm-hmm.
where grandma lived downstairs, and aunt and uncle, and
Yeah,
things like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of children.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of baby boomers,
Yeah.
which we are,
Mhm.
and it was everything about
Yeah.
what the band was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then you had some, phenomenal music going on locally. Like I said, as we always talk about, our relationship with Styx in the early
Mhm.
days. But you had Hartsfield. You had, you just had a bunch of bands that were just phenomenal players, a little older than us,
Yeah.
and we looked up to them,
Yeah.
and we learned a lot from all those type of people.
Yeah.
I had a buddy, well, not a buddy, but a kid. He was probably, like you say, probably 6 or 7 years older than me. And he had a band. They practiced in their garage, and I'd be listening to them. I was like, wow, these guys are good. But yeah, it seemed like, well, everything was new back then too. The Beatles had just hit the scene,
Yeah.
the Rolling Stones. Everybody's like I did. Um, I had some health issues where I couldn't play sports, and I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, and I went, but I can do that. And I got out the broom and I stood in front of the mirror for a week, playing every day after school. My parents said, maybe we should get him a real guitar instead of the broom. But everybody, it was just so many people to this day. Even, Jim Peterick's book, he mentioned seeing the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show. Yeah, so many people credit that performance to just changing their life totally, and it did for me.
Mm-hmm. Did most of the guys go to Fenger? Did some go to Mendel? How of the band, the 6 guys?
Yeah. So myself, Carl, went to Fenger.
Mm-hmm.
John, Paul, and Roger went to Mendel,
Mm-hmm.
which is the
I
Catholic.
have cousins that went to Mendel. Sure.
And then Jeff went to. He was in the suburbs.
Yeah, Flossmoor.
I think Flossmoor.
Yeah. Yeah, boy, if I think of Mendel High School, those teams are back in the late, 67, 68, playing in the prep bowl and stuff like that. That had to be just a fantastic time in your guys' lives. I'm still only 5, 6 years old, but these guys are 9, 10, and so just having the time of your life.
It's all about Roger.
Yeah, Roger was a phenom pitcher.
Oh, was he?
In high school?
In high school for Mendel, and his claim to fame was he played back at then is they would play a public league versus
Catholic.
Right, publicly,
at
They
Comiskey
call that
Park, right?
Comiskey Park.
In baseball.
And
too.
so
Baseball,
this might be fabricated a little bit,
Yeah.
but I think Roger, pitched
Mhm.
2 innings.
Yeah.
It was hitless baseball, and he struck out I think 4 or 5 out of the 6 batters.
Yeah.
He he had an offer. I don't know what college it was, maybe a couple different colleges, to go play baseball, free ride for baseball scholarship, but he turned it down to stay in M&R Rush.
Wow. That is freaking cool.
Yeah.
And you know what? He got to do what he loved. I'm sure he would love baseball, but maybe, the traveling and stuff. You guys are known literally all over the Midwest during that time.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I just forgot the next question. Doggone it.
That's right. I'll help you.
Yeah.
But the thing is this book that chronologically takes us from the beginning to 2026.
Yeah.
A lot of our family and friends that read it said, wow, they lived it, but they didn't know this. They didn't
little
know that.
intricacies, yes.
Right. Okay.
I was hooked by it. Jim Arvia, if you do see this one day, it was great. And we'll talk, but keep going. I don't want to.
No, but I mean,
see that, Jim?
Yeah. So that was, that's what's cool about this being written for us by Jim Arvia is it's a lot of little things because there wasn't social media back then.
No.
So, when we were out playing 250 dates around the Midwest and going to Colorado to play, no one knew that we were just gone.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'd come back. So people are finding out like, whoa, you guys did a lot at the beginning of your musical career.
Well, the book had me going pretty well, and I'm going to jump ahead to a part of that book, and I might be zigzagging a little bit, but you know, when it got to the part about Mushroom Records, it broke my heart.
Handshake.
It literally
handshake.
Handshake Records. Excuse me. Is that something you guys want to talk about
Sure.
at this time? So tell us about how we led up to that.
Well, I don't know exactly how it got in place that he was coming, but we would send out our demo tapes to all the record labels, and we got a response from a subsidiary of Columbia Records called Handshake Records, and it was at that time it was run by a gentleman by the name of Ron Alexenberg. Mm-hmm. Well, Ron Alexenberg was responsible for signing Kansas. I forget the other.
Meatloaf he had a lot to do with.
Okay, yeah. So he said, I want to come see you guys. So we were playing a club in Berwyn, Illinois. It was June of 1982. And the reason I know that, my daughter was born like 3 days before that. And I'm thinking, okay, that's
and he didn't quit the band. He didn't quit the band at that time.
And he came and saw us, and we put on a great show. And he came. We went in the dressing room after the show, and he comes walking in. The waitress behind him, he's got a tray of Heinekens.
And kamikazes, right? That was the big thing, no?
I don't remember that. I remember the Heinekens. Yeah, we'll say kamikaze.
Yeah.
But he toasted us, and he said, I wish you guys a lot of success. But it was kind of an open-ended. It wasn't a definite yes, and it wasn't a definite no. And you can take it from there.
So a couple things is his brother seen us do a concert at Northern College.
Northern Illinois University.
Yeah, right. And he booked us. He graduated from college and was an A&R guy for his brother, Handshake Records. Ron Alexenberg, that was a bigwig at Columbia Records. That they started this subsidiary called Handshake Records. Mm-hmm. So that's how the connection was. And we were even to the point, and it doesn't go in detail in the book about this, but we had numbers already going, 4 albums. We're going to get this type of an advance. Yes, that's when they used to pay you to record albums and things, not like today.
You get 3 albums to get a gold record.
Yeah, and so that was all. And again, he wanted us to see us live to make sure that we could play and perform the way that we played on our demos and things. And like John said, he said that, and John, he left, and he said, Marty, give me a call Monday or whatever. And John looked at me and goes, hey, man, that didn't sound right.
So you sensed something.
John did.
Yeah.
Okay. And John is me and him are great at that way. He thinks something and then throws it at me, and I'm thinking, no. And then I'm thinking, yeah, maybe John's right, So we've had this thing back and forth. So we actually verbally just, cut it out, man, right?
Yin and yang sometimes, and then other times we're a team,
Yeah.
And it was one that he didn't quite agree with me, and I just sensed something weird. I expected, okay, this is what I've been working for since I was 9 years old, and I picked up the broom. I'm expecting more of a hoopla, more of like, okay, and I was just like, well, maybe, he'll send Marty a letter, or they'll talk on next week, and it'll be, but something just didn't feel right.
Right. And unfortunately, John was right, and I was wrong.
Now, was that the same situation where maybe later on somebody did confirm that, hey, we don't want to lock you up and throw your music away for 3 years? Was that the same situation?
When we look back at it, you know what I'm saying, and this is a while back. You know how stories in your mind change, right? But a lot of the things in the book are pretty rock on, right?
Yeah.
But is that the way that we look at it and analyze it, there was a couple things that were happening in the music business. Disco was really, happening. Michael Jackson, the Thriller album, all that stuff. That's what people were buying, And our kind of rock, which was, melodic rock, 4-part harmony, guitar leads, double leads, driving drums and bass and keyboards. It just wasn't selling anymore as much. Okay.
We got one. I remember one rejection letter.
Yeah.
It said, "Hey, you guys sound great. You sound like a cross between Styx, Journey, Queen, but we're not looking for that anymore. We're looking for, on one side of it, Flock of Seagulls, or at the other extreme, Motley Crue."
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
Well, where do we fit into that?
And we don't.
Right.
So,
exactly.
so and again, you listen to that and you say, man, we've been working. That is such a compliment to even be mentioned in the same name as those bands, Queen, Styx, Journey. And it's like, that's what we were driving for, but we still wanted to be unique.
Yeah.
And then to be told, that ain't happening anymore. So as we look back, that was part of it. The music business had just changed. And I think John says in the book, our music, it came to the end of the road and there was no more place to go.
Yeah.
And that's what he basically told us was, hey, you guys are great, but I don't want to sign you.
Yeah.
And those words hurt.
Yeah.
I don't want to sign you. And also, if I did sign you, I know that the company is going through financial problems at the time as a subsidiary, and there will probably be closing up this subsidiary.
So somehow somebody was watching over.
You know what? And again, Ron Alexenberg, big time. It was an honor that he flew out to see us and wanted to see us and talk to us and
shook his hand. I shook his hand, but holy shit,
a heavyweight. And it was great. It was great.
Yeah. So last night I went out to dinner with my wife and my sister. We went to a restaurant that's owned by a guitarist who plays for Grindstone. His name is him and his wife run the restaurant.
What restaurant's that?
It's called the Armorado's Meatball Cafe, right across from Bridges in Griffith. But Greg Jania, the rhythm guitarist of Grindstone, who played here 2 Sundays ago in an event that I booked with Kevin Friend, him and his wife owned that place. So we went in there. There was only one other couple in there at the time. It was actually kind of 3:45, so a little bit before dinner. And so we just kind of made friends with the guy and his wife. And he's born in 1960. And I somehow, in my talkative manner, I mentioned I'm going to be interviewing him in our rush. He says, "Oh man, I got so many." He says, "But the one thing, I remember the first time I saw him. So I got to ask you, do you remember the Loop Party in the Park or something like that?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Tell us about the Loop Party.
That one
was I don't. Was it at Sox Park or was it somewhere? Was it or something like that? A Loop Party or something?
Well, there was WLS Rock Fest at the Arlington Park Racetrack.
Okay.
The first one that burned down in the 90s.
1980 or something.
Or late,
maybe it was 84.
I remember this one specifically because, and we mentioned this in the book, because it was an all-day concert.
Yeah.
It was general admission inside in this huge room. But there was, like, from what I remember, there was probably 6 bands booked for that day. And the headliner was Judas Priest.
Wow. Pretty cool.
Before Judas, the band before them was Head East.
Wow.
I forget who was before them. Then it was M&R Rush. Then it was a band called the Catholic Girls.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember who the first. So we were in the middle. Yeah. There was one, Head East, then that. So, but it was general admission.
Yeah.
So all the Judas Priest fans got there nice and early and had the first 50 rows. Yeah. And they're sitting on the floor.
Yeah.
So the first band gets up there, and I don't know, they got through their set. The Catholic girls get up there. Now they were 4 or 5 girls dressed in Catholic schoolgirl outfits, and they start playing. And we hear them playing, and we're back. All of a sudden, I don't know, second, third song. Why is it so quiet? All of a sudden, people are running. the lead guitar player, she got hit in the head with a bottle. She's bleeding. They're done. M&R Rush, get up there.
Oh,
We're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, with our 4-part
Whoa.
harmonies and
Wow.
melodic rock.
yeah, with our stick sound
Mm-hmm.
or our sound. And, we were probably doing at that point 80% originals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we get up there and we're playing our first song. And I remember I'm getting pelted with quarters and nickels. They're bouncing, they're hitting on the floor. Like, okay. Well, I think it was You're the Only Woman, original. And now it's time for a guitar solo. So I'm going, oh crap. So at that time they only had floor monitors.
Mm-hmm.
So I step on the floor monitor, and now I'm 2 feet taller, and I just played my ass off on a solo, and the quarters stopped, and
calmed them down,
and they let us finish.
Mm-hmm.
Because I looked them right in the face and just pointed at them, and
music soothes the savage beast.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
We were able to do our entire show, and we stayed backstage and we watched. What's the lead singer?
Bruce Dickinson?
No.
Judas Priest.
Rob.
Rob Halford.
Rob Halford.
Yeah.
We hear the first song starting, all of a sudden you're hearing a motorcycle.
Yeah.
And the drum riser opens up, and he comes out of the drum riser in his motorcycle.
That was something special back then.
Yeah.
So.
How about the Chicago Fest days? Any great memories of Chicago?
Oh,
how many of those did you do?
I think
4?
Yeah, 3 or 4. I think majority of them.
Yeah.
And those were one of the highlights. And it was kind of neat to see people with signs, M&R Rush, and things out in the crowd and things.
Yeah.
And, it was some of our biggest crowds
and that
we ever played for.
So some of the best work that M&R Rush has done has been off stage with your golf tournament. Tell us about how that started. I kind of know how it started, but tell us what you've been able to do for charity involved with the golf tournament.
Thanks, appreciate that. Is when we went on vacation, we call it,
1987
to
2003.
After playing around, after realizing we weren't going to get a contract, that was about 3-4 years after that we decided, hey, you know what? We're all having families. I wanted to be a little league coach and my boys and just be around and more. And the whole band said, it is what it is. And at that time, the music business still was not as healthy as it was back in the day. We decided enough's enough. I just got to
plug for Chip.
Yeah.
There you go.
And we'll have to send that to.
Yeah.
Is we decided, hey, that's it. So to stay in contact. Okay, we had a golf outing once a year that just with our roadies and the band members.
Yeah.
And we did that for umpteen years and just to have fun. And what happened is that's how we got the band back together in 2003, came from one of the golf outings. And there was probably 20, 22 people.
Somebody sat behind Kevin's set, your son, Kevin Mardirosian, his son, also a fantastic drummer. I think he's taken a step back to be with family. But
it's
amazing young man.
Yeah. And so we played and we started playing again. Then the band guys, everybody said, hey, are we still going to have our golf outing? And everything was self-generated, right? Which takes a lot of time. And we just said, no, we don't have time. We're playing. We got to rehearse. We got to do all that again. So we didn't do it for a few years. And then about 10 years ago, we said, hey, let's do it again, but we'll open it up to what we call our friends out there. And it started out with, John, 48 people, 96 people, 128 people. Last year, it sold out in 3 weeks, 144 people. And then we had about 40, 50 people that wanted to play that didn't sign up. We had no room for them. And we tied it into
charity.
Correct. And the charities, we're not going to get into it. all are associated with medical things that we had happening with our M&R Rush family.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and so we wanted to give back, and everything was really cool, and that's how that all came together. And the band feels really, really, really good, rewarding to, doing something like that. And that's how we tied this last one of the book release party. Is for the Breast Cancer Society. So
yeah. You mentioned, health reasons, and how unique is it that a band, 6 guys, our age, we're all still together, some, not that they use the, people, shooting stars, whatever, they flame out and, they're gone. But how great is it to still be able to play with your friends and jam? I mean,
like I said, that's what it's all about. This is, we're great friends, and, all those guys. This is what, that's, but music brought us together. Eventually, well, me and Roger was baseball, but we were little kids, but music brought us together, and here we are. Like you mentioned, my son Kevin, his daughter,
Kristen,
phenomenal voice, and it's so exciting.
Seen her sing right here,
yeah,
on the
it's
other side
exciting.
of this wall, amazing.
But it's all about the music, and it's a good feeling to be playing, still singing, still recording.
I just had someone bring up the Land Oak pool.
Yeah,
that had to have been one of our first jobs in '73 when we were all right. This big, that's what's amazing. Sometimes I'll be playing, and I'd look at these guys and go, "Man, I remember when we were all high school kids, and here we are, grandpas."
Do any of the other band members have offspring that are musically inclined at all? Like your son or your daughter, or?
I don't think to the level that Kristen and Kevin and my son Curtis have started playing out live and things. But they all play. I mean,
Jeff's son, Brendan, he plays guitar, but he's not. But he just started playing maybe 3 years ago. He's really good.
Yeah,
and he hasn't put a band together yet. But
and I know Roger's sons play bass and guitar, whatever. But it's evolving.
Yeah, it's definitely there. Yeah, I first met you in Lansing a couple of years ago. I forgot what concert was going on at. I forget what they call the venue in Lansing, the outdoor.
The new one, Point,
Lansing Point or Fox Point. Yeah,
Fox Point. There you go.
So my daughter is married to Sue Tomaszewski's son, and so she knew you. Say, hey, you ever meet Marty? Oh, hey. So that was the first time I got to meet you, and then again, first time I saw you. The thing on May 3rd again. It sounds like we're pushing capacity. Do we want to talk about that at all, or a little bit more?
Phil, this is for you.
Yeah, let's fill it.
It's gonna be a big deal. Is I guess what I'm trying to say. This is you were anticipating a very large turnout.
Well, at the beginning we weren't.
Yes.
And we wanted it to be intimate. Excuse me, intimate. It's number one is the way it all started was, hey, you buy a book at mnrrush.com, you get a personal invite from the band. Okay, and our goal was about 100 people.
Yeah.
And we're over that already. The other thing too is there's been radio stations talking about it, so I know that there's other people that are going to be coming that weren't invited by the band, but that's fine, and they can buy a book and participate in making the donations to Breast Cancer Society. So everybody is welcome.
Yeah.
Right, John? Everybody's welcome. Yeah. We would love to see everybody, but it might be a little crowded.
Yeah, gotcha.
But it'd be like the old days at Luigi's where they would be waiting to get in, But no, so everybody's welcome. And again, the goals are for us to say thank you for the people that bought the book and supported our career, and also to generate funds for our charity event, which is Breast Cancer Society.
I usually like to end up with 2 real fun hypothetical questions.
Okay.
So get ready. So,
Oh boy.
Oh,
yeah,
so we're ending already.
Well, no. You know what? Usually they go about anywhere from 23 to 43 minutes. Let's see.
Well, me and John, I told John we'd be here 5 hours.
We're
right?
at 35:01. That ain't too bad. We're right in the middle. And it depends on how long you take answering these questions.
Okay.
So if there was one venue in the whole world that obviously you've never been on that stage, whether that venue still exists or not, outdoor, indoor, shed, whatever, what would be the stage of your life?
I mean, so you're asking what's one of our
what
favorite?
would be, yeah, not a place you've played already. If you had your
Oh.
dreams, like tomorrow I want to play at, I
Oh.
wish I could be on that stage just
Yeah.
one time.
You know,
Tavern, it could be anything. That even if I think
that's a
Tavern
great
Club's still
question.
around,
That's a
though.
very, very good question,
Yeah.
and I'll take the first answer if you can
Go
think
ahead.
about it more. Right?
Thank you.
Is
Yeah.
well, some of the best sheds.
Mhm.
I'll answer your question.
Yeah.
That we did play were like the International Amphitheater. That was really,
I saw
really,
Yes
really,
and the Who there,
really
so yes.
cool there
And
to play that.
I was real quick because I was going to say that if you were asking which one did we
Right,
play,
right.
because the Beatles played, and the stage was in the same place as the stages was where we played.
Yeah.
So I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, and I played
Right
the
on
same place
stage.
that they
Isn't
played.
Cool. Yeah.
So I mean, it now would be really cool, which is one of the bigger stages of America. I would have loved to play on Madison Square Garden.
You know what? I've had that answer just a couple of interviews ago. Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
You know, I always remember the horn. Just like when somebody's coming into game basketball. I mean, if I could own one piece of sports memorabilia, it'd be the horn from Madison Square. I don't know how I'd make it work. I'm sure the neighbors wouldn't like me, but yeah, cool. How about you, John?
Red Rocks.
That is the most popular answer I get. Red Rocks. Everybody said they would just love to just be there.
I've never been there. I think you have.
Yes.
And they say the sound is incredible there. They say the sound on stage is incredible there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to think about it. You got to have incredible sound on the stage, or a band's not going to want to play there.
Yep. And one of the other ones that when you talk about sound, that was a great sounding bigger room that we played on was Holiday Star. Right? How was it called? The Holiday Star?
Holiday Star.
It's about 3,500 seats it used to be, but the sound in itself on stage was really cool.
So many concerts.
Yeah.
Dinner packages and stuff like great time.
Yeah.
So the other question, maybe even a little bit harder. Sometimes it's harder for people to imagine them in another person's shoes. But if there was one musician in history, you could trade places, whether he's still alive or not, you could be them for a whole weekend on and off stage. Is there anyone, or at the very least, nudge somebody out of a band and then just sit in with that band for a whole weekend?
So I'll take a different
turn on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
There are many. Again, I'm a music lover, musician. Listen to a lot of music, all kinds. But I have my special genre that I like. There are not many records that I hear that are very, very, very popular. All right. And I say, how would have I played that song, if I was in the studio creating that song and playing that song. Okay. And there's only probably about 10, 15 of those type of songs that I say, I would have played it exactly like they played it.
Yeah.
And going into that is, we've played lots of cover songs, but we always, you always interpret, what you would play. And sometimes my interpretation, you want it to be close, but it's hard for me to play it how that drummer created that song. Okay. And I have to learn it.
Yeah.
Well, there's about 10 or 15 that I just put it on and boom, I just play it exactly like they played it. That to me is like,
you're taking that place.
I'm taking that place because, to be honest with you, man, is, us not getting to the pinnacle you know, selling millions and millions of records. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't want to be anybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've gotten that answer before. I'm just perfectly comfortable in my own.
Yeah, and everything that we've experienced as musicians, as band, as friends, is beautiful. Okay, because we were able to keep our sense of who we are without giving up a lot of who we were. Okay,
important.
And it's like I say all the time is, you guys, we made it, a baseball analogy, we made it to AAA.
Yeah.
Okay, which a lot of musicians don't make it to AAA. Yeah. Okay, but we didn't get to the show, and I have no problem with that. So I guess I didn't answer his question, but
even though you didn't make the show, everybody's still here alive to tell the story.
Yeah.
How about you, John? Anybody that you kind of would step in somebody's shoes?
I don't know if I'd step in their shoes. I had, I am what I am today because I think I'm an amalgamation of all these different guitar players and singers that my first
and songwriter.
That's
the important question I forgot. When you're done, I'm going to ask about the songwriting. But go ahead, John.
My first guitarist that really caught my eye was Terry Kath from Chicago. Yeah. And then I got, and I'm picturing myself listening to these albums in my room. That's how. Then was Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
And then Brian May. I mean, Brian May was a huge influence to me from guitar playing. But then when you talk about vocally, because I pride myself, I'm trying to be known as a good singer as well as a guitarist. And back then, Peter Cetera from Chicago, his voice was incredible. And of course, Freddie Mercury. And I think you just take all those influences and then you add your own into the pot and you stir it all up and you've come up with something new.
Yeah.
And they go, well, I hear a little bit of this and I hear a little bit of that. But yet, you put your own little flavor to it all.
Yeah. So when it comes to the songwriting, I completely skipped over it. I can't believe, I can't remember everything. But you know what? What comes first? The lyrics, the melody? Who's the main songwriter? Do you bring it to the band and let them, how does your songwriting process work within the band?
Well, in the early days, it started with Carl. Okay. Carl being a keyboard player,
he does add a lot to the band. When he came in, I read and when you hear the music, yes.
Yeah. And you can visualize things a little better on a key. I play a little bit of keyboards, but you can visualize things, and he's, and if we're doing a harmony structure. But anyway, so Carl, in the early days, Carl was 80% of the writing, but as time went on, we all became songwriters. Everyone contributed, and and majority of them, though, I would say, a lot of us we wrote. I would say, again, maybe 70% of our songs were written by one individual. The other 30 were collaborations. But to answer your question, you may get an idea from you hear a line in a movie and you go, oh wow, that'd be a good title, and that spurs you to write some lyrics, and then you go, well, what kind of song do I want to put to that? Or I'd be playing, I remember Rock This Town, the song I wrote. We had a rehearsal many years ago, and I plugged in. I was just warming up, and I started playing this riff, and I'm going, what the hell is that? Well, I had my phone, and I hit the voice memo, and I recorded the riff, and it sat on my phone for about 3 years, and then one day I just said, I'm going to finish this song, and it's going to be the next one we record, and I did. I came up with a verse. And then I go, oh, what's the chorus? Oh, I know. Yes. Okay. The song was like, it's welcoming it was going to be the opening song for our show. Yeah. Welcoming the crowd and get ready.
Yeah.
Put on your seatbelt. Here we go.
Yeah. Beautiful. Because I've asked bands that before, what goes into your opening song? How much thought goes into it? And some bands say, I want to grab you right away. Or, there's some kind of, succession with that.
back in the day,
Yeah.
it was Reach for the Stars,
That was
which here we are now is the book,
the book's
the name of the
yes.
book.
Mhm.
But there's been numerous ones that, there was at one time called Ready that we used to
Paul
open
wrote
up.
that one.
Yeah. But yeah, and so I think John hit it out in the head. It was Carl at the beginning, but now it's all everybody except me. I'm not a writer, so all I do is bang drums.
And you know what? I'm not a musician at all. I don't know the first thing about notes, chords, anything. So I'm like God. I mean, musicians are like deities to me. Another thing that I thought of in the book, it seemed like this was a great thing that happened when you kind of hit the roadblock or whatever. I don't remember the name, something like Code Red or some
Color Red.
Color Reds came in and
That's them.
yes, and Color Red came in and gave you guys a way to kind of stay alive, but on a different platform. Did I read that right?
Yeah, I mean that Color Red, put us back into distribution. Okay, instead of physical albums like this, which they came out with, it was on the digital age, on Spotify, so all our music is out there on all those platforms. I think there's about 74 songs that are out there that anybody can go listen to.
Yeah.
And we get rich off of it. I mean, we make for every stream, I think we get 0.0001 cents, right?
Yeah.
But reality, that's how people buy, listen to music, and we would ask if you go to our Spotify and whatever way you listen to music, check out M&R Rush music out that way.
Well, one of the guest writers in your book who is Scott Rosenberg. I love 103.9 X Rock. I mean, I don't have XM. I just X Rock is my thing. But oh geez, the point I was going to try to make the song from last year. They started playing it right away, and I was like, "Whoa, what is Keep on Rocking?" Was it Keep on Rocking?
Yeah,
man, that's a happening song. I mean, it's really popping to this. And so I thought to myself, wait a minute, these guys, and this is their new stuff? I can't imagine what it was back in the day, So how do you guys feel about that latest album? What do you guys feel initially after making an album? What's your anticipation? What are you feeling after that? Or is it like,
well, it's like I said, we're not playing live anymore. Okay. And there's many reasons and all that, but the way to keep the band going, and we enjoyed playing with each other, rehearsing with each other, writing with each other, and recording, is we came up with a plan. I know, John, was our third year, right? Third year. Every 2, 3, 4 months, we would put out a digital single, okay, which you have to learn it, you have to write it, you have to rehearse it, you go and record it. And then release it. So that is our plan, to keep on doing that. And we have a recording session coming up a week after next.
2 days after the party.
Yeah, 2 days. And by the way, we're going to go in and record this Roseland Nights, which kind of interesting story. It came from Jim Arbia, who is the author of the book. This is how we got connected. He sent in an email to us and saying, "Hey guys, I've been following you guys for a long, long time. I live in Roseland. I write books about Roseland. And I'm not a musician, but I wrote these lyrics about Roseland called Roseland Nights." And this is wild. This is wild. This is a cool really, story. Really wild. So he says, "I would like to know if you guys would go in and write the music to my lyrics. I would really appreciate that." And so, first thing is, we do. And we do answer anybody that sends anything in. We always respond very quickly. Good. Contrary to what you had said about some of the artists that you, but anyway, I said, "Hey man, appreciate it, but our time is so limited now that we get together. We would not want to do something. We'd just go in and do our own recording and writing. And he came back and said, well, here's a version of AI.
Oh boy.
An AI that I sent in. Okay. Here's my lyrics. I want it to have drums, bass, guitars, keyboards, 4-part harmony, and I want it to sound like M&R Rush.
And it did it?
And 4 or 5 minutes, 6 minutes later, AI had this song totally written and recorded. So he sent it to me with
multiple guitars, harmonies,
and it sounds like M&R Rush. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then, I don't know, how did it come to be that we're gonna do it?
So I send it. John and Jeff produce our music.
Yes.
John, and so I sent it to these guys, and I said, "Hey, man, what do you think?" And John said, "Whoa, that's great, but it stinks that someone could, the computer could
copy you.
Yeah. And so what happened is next is I said, hey man, we just can't do it. I mean, it's just no time to do it. I apologize. And then he said, well, I have another proposition for you. Is I've been following your band for 50 years, and I write books, and I would like to write a book about your band. And I'm like, what? Number one is not in our wildest dreams we think that someone would want to write a book about us.
Yeah.
Second thing, thanks, James Arvio. We appreciate that. Second thing is who's going to want to read it? Okay. And so here we are. 900 emails sending him information. Yeah. And he created this book. Mm-hmm. He had a vision. He wanted it to keep it simple, between 100 and 150 pages. It ended up being 107 pages. And the reason why he said is, hey, guys, you're not Led Zeppelin, so people don't want to sit down and read 490 pages about it. They want an easy read, which you said wasn't.
Yes, and it kept me going.
And there's enough in there to keep. My belief is to keep. He did a great job.
I think he did a wonderful job.
But it's his story about us, the subject.
Yeah.
Okay. Then here's the answer to how did we come to this, is when we started talking about payment for the book, for him writing the book, spending 7 months of his life, he said, all I want you to do is take my lyrics, like I originally called, put your M&R Rush music to it, record it for me. So that's what we're doing.
So we're going in the studio. I've got, I've listened to what AI did, and I went, okay, we got to follow that somewhat. But we're going to put our own twist to it. I'm changing a couple of things, and
cool.
And
I can't wait to hear that.
And the studio we're going into, we usually do it in Jeff's studio, Star Treks. We're doing the bass and drums and keyboards and rough guitar in the Spot, which is John Huber out there. So there's a plug for John Huber. I'm glad I didn't forget that.
And his summer bash is
yes. So we're recording that there, and then we're gonna do all the overdubs and harmonies and vocals at Jeff's studio.
Star Treks.
Awesome.
And that'll be produced by John and Jeff.
All right.
And we'll be releasing it.
I can't wait. I'll pump that up for you guys too. So we're about to wrap this up. Any other honorable mentions you guys might have? Anybody that you just want to thank? Whether you don't have to. Some people say, "Oh, I want to thank my wife," or "I want to thank this guy." Some people say, "Oh, I'm good."
Well,
any other honorable mentions?
I don't know if you were going to say this, but I would like to just thank, and it's on page 2 of the book. I want to thank all the road crews, that have helped us over the years. Mm-hmm. Some of them are no longer with us. Thank you guys.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, I mean, without them, we wouldn't have been able to pull off what we did.
Absolutely. And that was one of the things that we decided as a band, besides having, trying to have good production. We looked at each other and said, do we really want to carry all this stuff? So we've had a road crew that worked real cheap, for beer and in the day, right,
In the
John?
beginning, yeah.
In the beginning. We've had a road crew since we were 16 years old. So, and because of them, we were able to do the 250 dates a year that we did. And yeah, John's right. We want to say thank you to them. Locally here, I know that, it's a regional thing for your podcast. But people like Tom Lounges, Scott Rosenberg, Jim Lenz, Mitch Michaels, who wrote the preface. They just been supportive, for our whole career. And we appreciate that, and of course our families for sticking with us all these years. Because as everybody knows, it's not easy being married to a musician.
I've heard that. Well, I can't tell you how excited I was to get the message from you, Marty, asking me to sit down, and it's been everything I've expected. So
cool.
We're gonna wrap this up, John.
Hey,
great to see you.
Thank you so much for having us,
Marty. And this is gonna wrap. Go ahead. You got something else, Marty?
No, I was gonna say we're gonna salute you to for that.
We're gonna have to get another refill, another salute. But salute Zivio, as they say in Croatian. But this is gonna wrap up the 45th edition of the Hometown Musician Spotlight. And I want to thank again the guys from M&R Rush. And until next time, peace, everybody.
Peace out.
Peace.